A very warm welcome to you from the nation's capital of Nairobi to the counties, the region and beyond. This is the Daily Report with me, Victor Muyakane. And on sign language is none other than Catherine Simaloy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot in store for you. First, the news. But later on, we have an all-important conversation because Katiba Day is upon us, folks. You see, it's 15 years of this constitution, one of the youngest in the world. Has it delivered on its promise? Particularly on the subject of devolution, which was meant to provide power and services to the people. Every Kenyan was equal. Every Kenyan had a piece of the national cake brought closer to them. Has it delivered? Has it? The question is mine. The answer is yours. But first, the highlights. Tonight, President Ruto appoints an 18-member panel of experts to oversee the compensation process for victims of the recent protests. SHA is under scrutiny for irregular fund disbursements to suspected ghost health facilities and has officially suspended 45 health facilities linked to ongoing fraud investigations.
The ghost facilities were closed in May, yet there is evidence that they continued to receive public funds.
Governors reject a Ministry of Health plan to transfer UHC staff to county governments, citing operational concerns. All right, we begin our news now. 45 health facilities across the country have been suspended by the Social Health Authority this afternoon as the body comes under fire over allegations of massive fraud involving ghost facilities. This suspension means the affected facilities will not access benefits from SHA during the investigation period. Sheila Chelangat reports.
For the past few days, the Social Health Authority SHA has been engulfed in controversy over accusations of fraud involving the disbursement of funds to ghost facilities. And as this controversy simmers, and with the health CS Aidan Dwale terming the allegations as propaganda, through the Kenya Gazette Tuesday afternoon, SHA suspended 45 health centres, during which this period of suspension, they will not be entitled to any benefits. Mandera County tops the list with 10 suspended facilities, followed by Kisii with 7 and Homa Bay with 6. Kisumu and Garissa each have 3 centres affected, while Bungoma, Kakamega and Wajir report 2 suspensions each. Other counties with at least 1 suspended facility include Nairobi, Turkana, Kirinyaga, Kajiado, Migori, Meru, Uasin Gishu, Nandi, Narok and Busia. Revelations of possible fraud within SHA continue to spark fury. Today, former Chief Justice David Maraga calling on the EACC to investigate and prosecute all those involved.
Prior to this, the Cabinet Secretary for Health had indicated to Kenyans that the ghost facilities were closed in May, yet there is evidence that they continued to receive public funds in June, July and August.
However, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has defended SHA, saying that unlike the defunct NHIF, SHA's digitized system is effectively detecting fraud. He further says that while NHIF fell due to fraud, SHA will rise on its ability to detect fraudulent claims.
This is not negotiable. If you cannot show where Kenyans are losing money, then you are a part of that problem.
Ministry of Health and SHA have been called on to fully disclose all funds collected under SHIF, parliamentary allocations to SHA and all payments made to health service providers. Sheila Chelangat for TV47.
The Social Health Authority is under scrutiny over claims of irregular disbursement of funds to ghost facilities. The Ministry of Health says it has already intercepted more than 10.6 billion shillings, flagged as fraudulent claims. And as Elizabeth Atieno reports, Metro Group PLC has clarified that Shah chairperson Dr. Abdi Mohammed is no longer the owner of Ladnan Hospital, which he surrendered in 2023.
The Social Health Authority, SHA, which officially began its operations on the 1st of October 2024, has in the recent past been embroiled in serious corruption, from fraudulent claims by some facilities to allegations that the Social Health Authority has been channeling payments to ghost facilities.
Fraud is in the public sector, Social Health Authority. Fraud is also in the private sector. The leading private medical insurance companies were here and they have provided to us evidence.
On Monday this week, the Ministry of Health rejected 10.6 billion Kenya shillings worth of fraudulent claims by some health facilities to the Social Health Authority. Additionally, 5.1 billion Kenya shillings worth of claims are under evaluation and 7.6 billion are under review.
Wajir County, Nairobi County, among many other, Bungoma County, Kisumu County. If you check my previous press statement, you'll find. So what the Kenyans, the social media are telling us, you are telling us information that already we have.
Another major point of concern has been the ownership of Ladnan Hospital. The Level 5 facility, which has a 50-bed capacity, includes a maternity wing, 2 operating theatres and general wards in its Nairobi branch. It was established in 2011 by Dr. Abdi Mohammed, who currently serves as the chair of the Social Health Authority. However, it has since come to light that Dr. Abdi sold his entire stake in the hospital to Metro Group PLC in July 2023. In a letter signed by Metro Group PLC CEO Dr. Kanyenje Gakombe, the company clarified that Dr. Abdi has had no involvement in the ownership, management or operations of Ladnan Hospital since the sale.
This man sitting here doesn't own a hospital called Ladnan. He used to own it, he doesn't own it anymore.
This month, Ladnan Hospital received 18.6 million from SHA, while its Wajir branch received 266,250 Kenya shillings. In July 2025, Ladnan Hospital received a total of 3.5 million Kenya shillings, while Ladnan Hospital Wajir received a total of 6.1 million Kenya shillings. In June 2025, Ladnan Hospital Elwak received 631,680 Kenya shillings from SHA, while Ladnan Hospital Wajir received 542,280 Kenya shillings. In the month of May 2025, the hospital received 15.2 million Kenya shillings, while Ladnan Hospital Elwak and Wajir received 1.1 million and 2.7 million Kenya shillings respectively. Elsewhere, there has been growing public outrage and online campaigns over allegations that funds under the Social Health Insurance Fund and Primary Healthcare Fund have been diverted to ghost facilities. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And still on matters health, the Council of Governors has faulted the Ministry of Health for failing to consult them on the absorption of staff under the Universal Health Coverage Programme. The governors say that the ministry's position, as communicated in a press statement, contradicts an earlier agreement between the national and county governments of this country. They insist that the Ministry of Health was expected to allocate adequate resources based on the SRC-approved salary scale before transferring payroll responsibilities to the counties. Additionally, the council wants the ministry to settle all
8,500 staff, and that is supposed to be in perpetuity. It cannot be a one-off. It has to be included in the DORA, because once we absorb this staff, we will not be getting rid of them the following financial year.
President William Ruto has appointed an 18-member committee to develop a national compensation framework for victims of demonstrations that occurred in the country between 2017 and 2025. This story was produced by Alvin Githinji.
The committee will be led by Professor Makau Mutua, the President's Chief Advisor on Constitutional Affairs, with LSK President Faith Odhiambo serving as Vice Chair, alongside 12 other committee members drawn from stakeholders in the religious sector and various civil society organizations. The technical team will be led by Richard Bano, assisted by Duncan Okelo Ndeda, Jerusa Mwathimi Michael and Raphael Ngetich will serve as secretaries of the committee. The committee has been tasked with designing and establishing a comprehensive framework to verify, identify and compensate eligible victims. It will also collaborate with relevant stakeholders to ensure inclusivity and fairness in the compensation process, as well as verify information about those eligible for compensation. The panel, whose term will run for 120 days, will also propose legal and institutional reforms to address demonstrations, and it will also prepare and submit a report to President William Ruto.
Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji and his two co-accused will know their fate on September the 5th in a case where they are accused of planning terrorist acts during the Gen Z protests in July. On July the 7th as well as earlier. The investigating officer has requested 14 more days to retain key exhibits, including a vehicle and a notebook believed to have been used in planning attacks during the demonstrations, before handing them back to the accused. Joash Onsare has more.
At the Kawa Law Courts Tuesday, Senior Magistrate Richard Koech heard the submissions from the prosecution and defense teams in a case facing Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji and two of his co-accused who appeared for mention of the case. They are alleged to have committed terrorist acts during Sabasaba protests in July. The prosecution has been given a final chance to formally charge the three as the investigating officer requested for 14 more days to hold onto key exhibits, including a vehicle and a notebook, before releasing them to the accused. The prosecution told the court that the investigations are still ongoing.
And we are saying that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution has not received that file to act upon in line with Article 157(11).
Some equipments were forwarded to digital forensic for analysis. The same haven't been received on our side. We are expecting in 2 or so weeks.
Defense lawyers urged the court to dismiss the application by the prosecution. They want the court to dismiss the case entirely, claiming there is no sufficient evidence to link MP Mukunji and his co-accused to any terrorist activities.
The data has been extracted. There is nothing more to do with the phones. Let the phones be returned. Let the motor vehicle be returned, so that we don't stagnate someone's life in the name of investigations. Last time we were told investigations were 70%. Today we are not being told whether they are 71 or 90%. So really, it means the process has stagnated.
The respondents, they are citizens of this country. They work in this country. They have always complied with the court conditions. So there's no trust for reasons which has been given to warrant extension of that time.
It will be very unfortunate if we keep on coming to court, getting more days, and nothing is moving.
The court will deliver its decision during the last mention on September 5th. Until then, the accused will remain out on 300,000 cash bail each as investigations continue.
We'll further mention the matter on 5th September 2025. This is marked as the last mention when the prosecution is expected to update the court on the progress of investigations. And the issue of release of items confiscated from the respondents.
MP Mukunji, a close ally of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, was arrested on 7th of July this year during Sabasaba protests and released on 10th of July on cash bail. Joash Onsare, TV47.
Thank you, Josh. Now, just a day after chaos erupted during the ODM party leadership elections in Kakamega County, where County Governor Fernandez Barasa declared himself winner of the county chairmanship seat, the several ODM MPs from the county have opposed the outcome, claiming that no election actually took place. The leaders are now calling on the ODM national leadership to organize fresh elections in the county. Addressing the press in Khwisero and Matungu constituencies, MPs including Peter Nabulindo of Matungu, Christopher Aseka of Khwisero, Nabii Nabwera of Lugari and Women Representative Elsie Muhanda strongly condemned the chaos witnessed, urging the ODM national office to conduct a repeat election. The legislators accused Governor Barasa of pushing for the voting to be done through a queue system, contrary to party rules, while his opponent, Lugari MP Nabii Nabwera, insisted on a secret ballot. The standoff forced the election supervisors, Isaac Litali and Simbauni Ndombi, to suspend the exercise. Despite this, Governor Barasa went ahead to declare himself the winner of the ODM Kakamega County chairmanship.
Watu wa Kakamega wameamua kwa kauli moja ya kwamba chairman ni Fernandez Barasa.
Akaenda akachukua debe lile tulikuwa tunapigia ndani kura, akapiga kwa floor. Wakaamuka wakaenda kumzingira, returning officer wanataka kumpiga. Coordinating chair Simbauni Ndombi akakuja akasema sasa, akaita polisi. Akasema sasa hakuna amani, hawa hawataki kupiga kura. Nimeahirisha kura mpaka vile itatangazwa tena na afisi kuu. Nafanywa kwa siri. Ili mtu awe na uhuru. Hata mke wako kama hataki kupigia kura, apige kura na mtu asimdhulumu.
Na pia MCS walikuwa pale, alikuwa amethreaten ya kwamba wakipiga vingine atawatoa kwa makomiti. Sisi tuko tayari kurudi kwa election, lakini tunarudi kwa election ya secret ballot.
Mimi ndio delegate number 1 in Matungu. Mimi I am the de facto chairman wa ODM in Matungu. I am the de facto leader of ODM in the Wanga region. Sasa inakuwaje kwamba hata jina langu aliko kwa delegates list?
President William Ruto has today hosted Rahim Aga Khan V, the spiritual leader of the Shia Ismaili Muslims, at State House, Nairobi. In a meeting focused on strengthening cooperation between Kenya and the Aga Khan institutions, the president conferred on Rahim Aga Khan V, the chief of the Order of the Golden Heart, Kenya's highest civilian honor, in recognition of his contributions through the Aga Khan Development Network in health, education, and, of course, environmental conservation. The two leaders also signed a memorandum of understanding between the government of Kenya and the Ismaili Imamate to enhance collaboration in environmental conservation, urban rehabilitation, and cultural heritage preservation.
As we celebrate this landmark moment, we equally look to new opportunities to deepen our collaboration in areas at the heart of Kenya's transformation. We welcome your partnership in affordable housing, a flagship initiative that will deliver safe and dignified shelter to millions, while creating thousands of jobs, stimulating industries, and expanding opportunities for small enterprises. We also seek to work closely with you on the Nairobi River regeneration through the Climate Works program, which is already engaging 45,000 Kenyans in Nairobi in meaningful work to restore ecosystems, clean waters, and create sustainable urban spaces.
Kenya has always held a very special place in the hearts of my family. Some of the earliest Aga Khan development projects from the time of my great-grandfather were launched in this country and many of these are still operating. And they signal a shared ambition to make that relationship even more impactful. Our goal is to work alongside the government as you tackle the emerging challenges of climate change, urban regeneration, and delivery of public services.
70 Nairobi ward representatives have signed a motion to impeach Governor Johnson Sakaja, accusing him of being out of touch with the capital's challenges. The MCAs convened a special session today to discuss his possible removal from office. And meanwhile, in Kericho, the Senate will tomorrow hold a special sitting to deliberate the fate of Eric Mutai, the governor of Kericho, who was impeached by ward representatives in his county.
Nairobi City Governor Johnson Sakaja once again faces an undying storm as Nairobi MCAs are asking him to resign or he be removed from office for allegedly violating county laws and failing to fulfill his promises to the residents of Nairobi.
We have had stalled projects where we have not received any answers from the executive. There are so many stalled projects within the wards, and the residents of Nairobi have been asking why those projects have not yet been completed. The members are also saying that the governor is not in touch, completely in touch, both with the ground and with this assembly, the members of this assembly. 3/4 of the members who make calls to the governor, he does not reply or call back to these members. So there's a question of communication between the executive and the assembly, and there is also the issue of his failure to come out on the issue of the broad-based government.
The MCAs held a special sitting Tuesday to deliberate the impeachment of Governor Johnson Sakaja, accusing him of being out of touch with the city's challenges.
Many of these things have not been implemented. The issue of motions, the bills that have been passed before this parliament, before this assembly, he has not taken any implementation step. And we are very cautious on these issues. That's why members came on board and they decided to discuss these things with the Speaker.
Kileleshwa Ward Representative Robert Alai, in his official X page, challenged the move, saying those claiming to want to impeach the governor are just crooks who have constantly and negatively used the name of Baba Raila Odinga to plunder City Hall. He says if Sakaja were to go, the entire leadership would be tainted by his sins, as they have weakened the assembly and exploited proximity to the governor to harm the city. These are jokers just shaking the fruit tree. End of quote.
Of the County Governments Act and standing on the...
This happening as Kericho Governor Eric Mutai opposes his dismissal at the Senate while raising questions about the integrity of the electronic voting system used by the county assembly. The governor, who is less than 3 years in his first term, faces second impeachment by ward representatives in his county and is scheduled to be heard in the Senate from Wednesday to know his fate. For TV47, I'm Linda Alela.
A family in Mauche, Njoro, in Nakuru County, was left stranded today after arriving at the Nakuru mortuary for the burial of their kin, only to be handed the wrong body. They were later informed that their relative had already been buried by another family from Molo, following a body mix-up at the facility. Both families are now blaming mortuary management for negligence and poor record keeping.
It was a scene of confusion and grief. A body mix-up at the Nakuru mortuary sparking outrage. The family of John Kiplangat, who had gathered to bury their loved one today, was shocked after being handed the wrong body.
Wakakuja akatuambia tumepata mwili yenu na muongoje tuende tu prepare alafu mkuje mfyu. Wakaprepare, wakafalisha nguo kila kitu, wakaenda kwa jeneza. Kufika pale tena kuangalia kwa jeneza tukapata mwili sio wetu.
Mwili imewekwa kwa sanduku ya huyu mzee mwenye hatujui ni nani. Nguo ya John amevalishwa yule yenye hatujui.
Kasika mgoni akatoa nini? Ile vitu naandikwa. Tukaambia nini? Ameandika sasa jina ya nani? Ya John. Kwa hii mkono. Na si John.
After separate search at the mortuary, it was later established that the body of their relative Mzee Joseph Kiplangat, who died on the 16th of this month, had already been buried by a different family in Molo.
Katuambia mili ambaye ni ya John Cheruyot ilipelekwa upande wa Molo na ilizikwa na ilipelekwa tarehe 19. Na huyu ambaye yako hapa sio wenyu, ni wale wa Molo. Sasa ule mwenye amepelekwa Molo ndio wetu. Sasa tunashindwa, jameni, mambo itaenda namna gani?
Tumestukia na nimekuwa ni ya maajabu. Na huwa tunasikianga kwa radio, tunaangalia kwa TV. Imetufikia leo.
Meanwhile, the body of the Molo family's relative still remains at the Nakuru mortuary.
Tunataka mwili ya John ikuwe kama John. Ikuwe amefanyiwa refreshment mpaka inaonekana ni nani? John. Msitulete maoso hapa ati mtuambie ni John.
The family from Molo that unknowingly buried John Kiplangat's body visited the mortuary today, where they identified and confirmed that the body of their loved one was indeed still at the facility. This incident comes just months after the body of a child, Mercy Chipngeno, went missing from the same mortuary in February this year, with the case still pending in court.
Lazima governor agaramie hii mzigo yote, right from the word go sahi.
Hawa ni wageni ambaye wametoka upande wa Kericho, wengine wametoka Kisii, na tulikuwa tumepanga mazishi ni ya leo. Zile gharama zote ambaye tulitumia, hata ilikuwa ni harambee, tulikuwa tumefanya.
The Kenya Forest Service has launched the African Champions of Trees Awards, an initiative designed to increase tree growing on public, community and private land. Speaking at the launch, Chief Conservator of Forests Alex Lemarkoko said that the awards are part of efforts to achieve 30% tree cover by 2032 through the planting of 15 billion trees. The initiative also seeks to recognize individuals and organizations making exemplary contributions to forest conservation.
This inaugural award will honor achievements and initiatives undertaken during the 2024 calendar year. The awards will be an annual event through all the way up to 2032, aligning with Kenya's ambitious national target to achieve the 30% tree cover.
And this will be done through the Africa Champion of Trees Awards.org website. So that's where all applications will be done.
Time now for some business news, and Kenya Airways has returned to loss-making, posting a net loss of 12 billion shillings for the first half of 2025, which is compared to a profit of 513 million shillings in the same period last year. Executive Officer or CEO Alan Kilavuka says that the airline had projected an 8% revenue increase, but a third of its fleet was grounded due to a global shortage of spare parts, and aircraft revenue instead declined by 19%, reflecting a 14% drop in passenger numbers and a 16% reduction in available seat capacity. Fleet ownership costs rose by 29%, and this is just one of the things that ailed KQ. Let's have a look.
So that is $17 billion drop in terms of income. Now, if we were able to fly the normal capacity, we had anticipated that the 19.4 billion was going to grow by a minimum of 8%. But of course, because we did not have the capacity, not only did we not grow, we actually, because of reduced capacity, dropped the income. We do believe that if we had full capacity at approximately 92 or so, then of course it would have more than compensated for this loss that we are recording this year, because we have significant costs that do not vary with the income. So it's very important to note the key driver of this loss that we have recorded this year. And this is, in our opinion, very, very temporal.
Now, Old Mutual Holdings has reported a profit before tax of 380 million shillings for the first half of 2025, weighed down by insurance claims worth 452 million shillings. Despite this, the firm recorded a 13% growth in net investment income to 4.2 billion shillings, while insurance profits more than doubled to 419 million shillings. The company says it is still navigating a tough economic climate marked by lower interest rates, reduced interest income, mark-to-market losses of 625 million shillings, and weaker performance in Uganda and South Sudan.
Overall result masks some very positive things around the results. In line with what we are seeing in the economy, savings are going up, and as a result, both our asset management businesses in Kenya and Uganda have experienced significant growth. Assets under management increased 64% year on year. Our life business in Kenya has performed very well. Operating profit has more than doubled year on year.
The main reason why the growth in life is important is because it has remained a small part of our portfolio. So if you look at the contribution from the life business, in the total portfolio of businesses, life has remained a very small part of it. And yet it has great promise for customers, for shareholders. So we need to grow that portfolio.
The Kenya Bankers Association has reaffirmed positive growth in the banking sector in 2024, driven, of course, by increased liquidity despite repeated cuts in the central bank's base rate. The sector closed the year with capital to risk weighted assets at nearly 20%, above the 14.5% regulatory minimum. Core capital ratios stood at 17.4% against a required 10.5%, highlighting the sector's resilience. KBA Chief Finance Officer Kennedy Mutisia says that strong capitalization and liquidity continue to support credit growth, digital innovation and inclusive financing as well.
That trend in the deposit at the industry level is actually moved by the large banks, which continue to dominate the deposit mobilization landscape, mainly supported by their digital footprint and the various banking channels that they have been deploying across the country. The loan-to-deposit ratio also declined, though slightly, to 70.1, and this is a clear signal that banks are taking a conservative approach in terms of lending and this enhanced liquidity in the market. That trend in the deposit at the industry level is actually moved by the large banks, which continue to dominate the deposit mobilization landscape, mainly supported by their digital footprint and the various banking channels that they have been deploying across the country.
The Taifa Pension Fund has reported net assets of 903.82 million shillings for the year, according to its second annual general meeting. Members earned a net return of 13.7%, a sharp rise from 3.9% in 2023. Administered by CPF Financial Services, the fund has streamlined its operations, allowing employers to complete onboarding in one business day while offering members professional investment and advisory services. Chief Executive Officer Dr. Jose Akili says that the fund's growth is anchored on strong governance and efficiency. Membership rose to 833 by December 2024, up from 307 the previous year.
We already have close to 30 employers in the scheme, and this comprises both parastatals schemes which have joined us. It includes TVET institutions, it includes colleges, churches, organizations, NGOs, and of course, the employees of CPF Group.
All right, it's at this point where we want to take a bit of a breather, a break. But here's a question for you. Tell me, has devolved healthcare served your county? Has devolved healthcare served your county? That is a question we're asking tonight. The answers are simple: yes, no, or maybe. The answers are to be sent to us through the QR code that will be put on your screen. Be good enough to scan it and then answer the question. Once again, has devolved healthcare served your county? Yes, no, or maybe. Let us know. We'll be right back with more after this.
Hey kids and families, get ready for the most fun-packed show around, Kids on the Block. Join us for awesome music, magical storytime adventures, and super cool arts and crafts. Plus, we pop tasty treats in our cooking corner. Learn, laugh, and create with us. Kids on the Block, where every day is a brand new adventure. Don't miss it.
Rise and shine with the ultimate morning power play from Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Join Fred Indemuli.
Time for us to take a look at the headlines this morning
as he takes you straight to the heart of the nation on Morning Cafe. From breaking down political intrigues to unpacking the stories shaping our country, this is where tough questions meet hard truths.
The president says he has cancelled, then they say, Igwe.
Stay ahead, stay informed, and stay connected. It's your go-to morning fix on politics, policy, and the pulse of the nation.
Raila Odinga has put Kenya's interests first for many times.
The State of the Nation with Fred Indemuli, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. only on TV47. Your morning, your nation, your voice.
Business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. Richard Bronson.
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Omer every Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. only on TV47. Full body workouts, zero equipment, maximum results. Start strong, stay strong. TV47 Fitness with Coach Shadrach only on TV47.
All right, time now for some sports news, and we start with our ladies. After failing to register a win in their two Group G matches in the ongoing World Championships, the Kenya women's volleyball team, Malkia Strikers, have switched focus to their last group match against Vietnam, set to take place on Wednesday. Kenya have had a tough outing, after losing opening matches against Germany with 3-0, and of course a defeat last Saturday, and Poland's 3-1, a defeat on Monday. Kenya, ranked 26th in the latest FIVB World Rankings, will come up against unranked Vietnam, who are also winless in the group from 1 p.m. And the win will put them in a strong position to maintain their top position in Africa. Kenya and Vietnam have all been eliminated from the championship, with Poland and Germany proceeding to the second round after winning 2 pool matches.
Unfortunately, so far we have not gotten any, but we are hoping that tomorrow we'll have our first win, and we are really pushing for it. It's very important for us. It's very important for us as a country, as a team, and as individuals. So we are pushing for a win.
Tunaenda kucheza kesho. I know we are going to win. Unajua seti Vietnam ni timu kubwa. Vietnam niseme tuko level moja na wao. So si tunaona vile tumecheza na Germany, vile tulicheza jana na Poland. Tuna improve step by step. So najua ikifika kesho tutapambana na Vietnam. Watajua sisi ni Kenyans. We don't joke.
The Confederation of African Football held a referees training workshop at the Ulinzi Sports Complex in Nairobi. This as the 2024 African Nations Championship tournament entered its penultimate stage. During the workshop, the accredited journalists covering the month-long tournament were offered a rare chance to understand the technicalities, processes and infrastructure behind modern refereeing, particularly the use of the video assistant referee, or VAR. The initiative comes amid heightened debate around officiating decisions in the ongoing tournament, especially after Harambee Stars striker Ryan Ogam's goal was disallowed in their quarter-final clash against Madagascar, a decision that sparked widespread debate, both online and offline. As the tournament nears its climax, CAF underscored that such engagements with the media are vital in bridging the gap between officials, fans and stakeholders, fostering a better understanding of refereeing decisions and reinforcing integrity in the beautiful game.
Well, to be honest, I want to congratulate Kenya. I want to congratulate CECAFA, because this is the zone. And I also want to congratulate CAF into all the efforts that have been come. We've already been doing some VAR training courses here, and it's very successful. So a lot of work has been done in the background that people are not aware of, and we are starting to see results. But again, we need to do more. So if we have 1, we need 2. If we do 2, we need to do 4.
VR protocol in itself allows for referee to review only, several items, not everything. So matters that directly impact generally the outcome of the game. So you have matters of penalties awarded, a goal scored, direct red card or a mistaken identity.
The competition is not just minor, you have to keep it up, you have to be at the same level with men. So as a female, it's challenging, but then you have to double up your efforts. And again, a series of learning, it's a roller coaster. You learn, today's good, tomorrow maybe it's 50-50.
You've seen the fan base, you've seen the media outreach, you've seen how many people are there following football, how fast men are. Of course, their speed, you can't compare them with men. So even from our end, if I know that I'm nominated for a certain male tournament, I need to up my training physically so that I can reach at the tempo of the men's speed.
AFCON is coming. So this is another stage where they need now to show their quality. Because as we don't just talk, we need quality, we need people to work hard. So if they want to get into a big stage like AFCON, which is coming shortly, they have to show their quality. So it is in the same way.
The Kenya Police Bullets have been drawn in Group A of the 2025 CAF Women's Champions League CECAFA qualifiers in a draw held by the Confederation of African Football in Cairo. This marks the second time that Kenya will be hosting the tournament. As the Kenyan champions, Police Bullets are set to brush shoulders against debutant Denden FC of Eritrea and Uganda's Kampala Queens. The Beldin Odemba-led side fell short in the finals last time out, but will be hoping to take full advantage of home support as they aim to make history by qualifying to the CAF Women's Champions League for the very first time.
Hey kids and families, get ready for the most fun-packed show around.